Hi, mine's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss the DUP's statement that they will be making their decision on the Windsor framework, which is the agreement on the practical implementation of the Northern Ireland Protocol, by the end of this month. They say that they would rather the right outcome than a rushed one. All right then. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So the Windsor framework is basically a week old now. In anyone's politics, that would be fairly old news. In British politics, it's absolutely ancient with what happens every day. So I guess it's a good thing that the DUP don't believe in ancient, because they want a full month to make their mind up about an agreement which reduces the severity of trade friction between Britain and Northern Ireland, the very thing they say they are opposed to. Apart from anything else, there will be a vote in Westminster on the framework at some point. I thought it might be sometime this week, but I've not seen anything announced. But I can't imagine Sunak wants to wait too long. You know, he said he wanted to give his MPs time to consider the deal. But given that he already has the numbers, what he doesn't want to do is give them enough time to rebel over something else and then use this vote to weaken him. You know, strike while the iron is hot and all that. Besides, he knows full well that his MPs are not reading the framework. Any MPs that were interested in it have already done so. They've got two new toys now in the form of Starmer's Sue Gray appointment and his plans to break human rights laws to make scapegoats out of people fleeing war and persecution. Can you imagine the scenario? Westminster votes their approval for the framework, say next week. I don't really see why it should take longer than that. It's written into law, done deal, that neither London nor Brussels have any interest in revisiting anytime soon. And there's zero doubt that it will pass that vote because the opposition are going to vote for it. And then you've still got the DUP pondering. It's like they think they're sat around the negotiating table after everyone else has signed the deal and gone home. And I thought the Conservatives were looking impotent and ridiculous at the moment. The reality, of course, is that DUP leader Sir Geoffrey Donaldson has no choice but to delay their formal decision, because he's currently trapped between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, it's clear that several prominent politicians in the DUP are currently opposed to giving this framework their blessing. Sammy Wilson, Ian Paisley Jr., chief amongst them, as far as I can tell. On the other hand, if they say that the agreement, you know, though clearly an improvement, is still not good enough, what then? What do they do then? Maintain their boycott of Stormont? That's a given. But where do they go from there? What is their action plan? So, Geoffrey, what will you do now? I'm just going to carry on sitting on my arse. You know, crashing Stormont's all they had. The only way they even have any oversight over the practical running of the protocol is by taking up those positions on the executive. But if they do that without formally approving of the agreement, they are admitting defeat. So the only way they can maintain face and take their positions back up on the executive in order to have any influence over any of this is by saying they're now happy with the agreement. You know, so, but either way, at the moment, you would think whatever he tries to say will be seen as humiliating and, I imagine, spark some considerable infighting. I saw a report which indicates that President Biden may not want to attend the Silver Jubilee of the Good Friday Agreement celebrations in Northern Ireland unless the DUP commit to restoring power in Stormont. I don't know how true that is, but the DUP cannot now think that this is leverage over Sunak. Sunak, of course, wants his meeting with the president. You know, I mean, it might have been leverage right up until the point he announced the agreement to the world last week. But it's done now. Sunak's committed. It's there. It's finished. Besides, he couldn't have gotten anything materially better for the DUP than he did anyway, because he would have tried. Of course he would. Conservative MPs were impressed enough with what they got. So Donaldson is trapped between those in the party who want an exit strategy, you know, a face-saving way out of this, you know, accepting his deal as the best one available, and the Blood and Thunder Brigade, who are not for compromising on anything, even with reality. Bloody reality. We're sick of listening to that old fart. Peter Robinson, a former DUP leader who will form part of the party's panel on making the decision. It's actually quite interesting. So the DUP are assembling this panel. of people, knowledgeable and political luminaries to decide on what the overall decision should be. And it includes every leader of the DUP, except Edwin Poots. But anyway, never mind that. So Robinson has said that they should be given serious thought as to the damage they will cause unionism by opposing the deal, which is the argument I've made for some time. I'll say it again. The protocol could be sold as an absolute benefit to unionists because it gives Northern Ireland's exporters a material advantage, a tangible advantage, a tangible Brexit benefit, you might say, that goes away with reunification, just disappears overnight. They would do better to promote those benefits and try to bake them in to the Northern Ireland economy. But they can only do that by not only promoting the protocol as a good thing, which is now a little tricky given how their idealists have tainted its image, and also by forming the executive to take a lead in getting local businesses to take full advantage, maybe even attracting inward investment. They could create a powerful economic argument for the status quo, which would last all the way up until the UK rejoins the EU. The greatest threat to unionism in Northern Ireland are the Northern Ireland Unionists. Another issue to consider, if the DUP have to reject the agreement, because they'll be trapped politically, we may hear more threats from paramilitaries. The situation could easily get out of hand again if the DUP cannot actually take the lead here. Most of them know they have to find a route towards accepting the deal in order to maintain control. That's why there is this lengthy process for considering the deal. The 7 tests that the DUP came up with were stunningly stupid, especially in hindsight. They've got this process now to decide whether it meets their test. It's not really a process, of course. It's not. There is no process to decide if the agreement meets their test. No agreement could meet their test. They know that. It's a sideshow to allow time to bring the idealists back into line. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. We'll find out how that's gone by the end of the month. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.